Days of our lives. Shocking revelation as Vivian slips up in heated confrontation. Stefan's whereabouts may finally be exposed in a week full of explosive drama and long-buried secrets. Days of Our Lives teases a story that could shake the very foundation of Gabi's world. For months, she has been living with confusion and heartbreak after Stefan mysteriously vanished from Salem, leaving behind nothing but divorce papers and silence. But just when Gabi begins to move forward, an unexpected encounter brings all her suppressed questions back to the surface, with a vengeance. It all begins during the week of April 14th to 18th, when Gabi crosses paths with someone she never expected to see outside of a prison cell. Vivian. Technically, Vivian is still supposed to be behind bars at Statesville, but as always, the manipulative matriarch has found a way to bend the rules. She's slithered her way out of confinement, at least temporarily. And as fate would have it, her first run-in is with her son's heartbroken wife. The tension is immediate and explosive. As the two women face off in a fiery war of words, emotions run high and the truth begins to crack through the carefully laid lies. Gabi, still reeling from Stefan's disappearance, doesn't hold back. She demands answers. Where is Stefan? Why did he leave? And why were the divorce papers signed without even a single conversation? Vivian, cunning as ever, tries to brush off the questions. She claims ignorance, insisting that Stefan made his own choices. She even taunts Gabi, suggesting that her son had simply moved on and wanted nothing more to do with a marriage he considered a mistake. The hurtful words are meant to wound, and they do, but Gabi isn't easily broken. What Vivian doesn't know is that Gabi's intuition is sharper than ever. The more Vivian speaks, the more cracks begin to show. Her smug attitude, her barely veiled gloating, and one particularly suspicious remark hint at something far darker than a mere breakup. Gabi begins to suspect the unthinkable. Stefan didn't leave her. He was taken. Unbeknownst to Gabi, that suspicion is chillingly accurate. Behind the scenes, the truth is far more sinister than anyone in Salem could have guessed. Stefan had no intention of leaving his wife. On the contrary, he was determined to fix their broken relationship and rekindle their love. He had even expressed to close friends that he still believed in their marriage. But before he could make his move, Vivian orchestrated a scheme so bold it could only come from the Alamein playbook. Using her loyal associate Ivan, she arranged for Stefan to be kidnapped and whisked away to Alemania. The reason? Vivian believed that Gabi was unworthy of her son and she would stop at nothing to remove her from his life once and for all. Not only did she engineer the kidnapping, but she also forged Stefan's signature on the divorce papers, making it seem like he had coldly cut ties with Gabi. It was all a lie, one so layered in deceit that even Stefan may not fully realize how deep the betrayal runs. As Vivian continues her heated confrontation with Gabi, she slips. In the midst of her insults and smug predictions, claiming Stefan will forget Gabi forever, her mask of control begins to slip. She says just a little too much, hints at things that Gabi instantly picks up on. The words, forever, and out of your reach, take on a new, terrifying meaning. It's in that moment that Gabi's instincts kick in. Something is off, deeply off. And while Vivian tries to redirect the conversation and distract her, Gabi starts to connect the dots. Could Vivian really have been behind Stefan's sudden disappearance? Could he be trapped somewhere, held against his will? Gabi decides not to confront Vivian further, but instead to outsmart her. She pretends to accept Vivian's lies, nodding and even playing along with her version of events. But once Vivian is out of sight, Gabi puts a new plan into motion. She quietly begins to follow her, hoping the woman's arrogance and overconfidence will lead her straight to Stefan. Meanwhile, back in Alemania or wherever Stefan is being held, there may be signs that the truth is beginning to surface. Perhaps Stefan is beginning to question the reality that's been fed to him. Has he been brainwashed, convinced that Gabi gave up on him? Or is he struggling to remember what really happened before he disappeared? Back in Salem, Gabi's pursuit of the truth becomes an emotional and physical journey. She risks everything, her safety, her freedom, and her future, for the chance to bring Stefan home. But with Vivian always a step ahead, it won't be easy. The stakes are high, and Gabi knows time may be running out. Still, one thing is clear. Vivian has underestimated Gabi. She always has. And now, The woman she tried to destroy is rising, more determined than ever, ready to confront the past and reclaim her future. Days of Our Lives promises that this storyline will bring shocking twists, emotional reunions, and a long-overdue reckoning. Will Gabi find Stefan in time? Or will Vivian's latest scheme tear them apart for good? Meanwhile, betrayal, intrigue, passion. As Salem's most notorious families collide once again, loyalties will be tested, hearts will be broken, and no one will emerge unscathed. In this week's explosive Days of Our Lives promo, we witness old flames reignite, ruthless power plays unfold, and shocking suspicions threaten to upend everything. Let's take a closer look at the twists and turns that await our favorite characters, and why this may be the most dramatic week yet. Sammy and Rafe. Old wounds, new desires. When Sammy Brady walked back into Salem last week, she expected to pick up where she left off with her family and with her own turbulent emotions. Instead, she found her sister Belle declaring her undying love for E.J. DiMera, the man lying in a coma after a mysterious shooting. The sight of Belle's tear-streaked face and broken vow left Sammy reeling. Not only had Belle moved on, but she'd pledged her heart to the very man Sammy once loved. Into this emotional chaos steps Rafe Hernandez. For months, Rafe has been struggling to rebuild his life after learning that his friend Arnold had impersonated him, stealing his identity, his job, and nearly his happiness. Rafe's world was upended, his faith in those closest to him shaken. Now, with Sammy vulnerable and alone, Rafe finds himself drawn to her pain and to her fierce resilience. In scenes that promise to leave viewers breathless, Sammy and Rafe are seen seeking solace in one another's arms. Tender glances, hesitant touches, and whispered words of comfort build until, at last, they lean in for a kiss. Is it the start of a passionate new romance or a dangerous entanglement that will only lead to more heartbreak? Only time will tell. Vivian's deadly game, fortune, fury, and a family under siege. If there's one person in Salem who knows how to play for keeps, it's Vivian Alamain. Cold, calculating, and unrelenting, Vivian has returned with one goal: to claim her rightful half of the Kiriaki's fortune. And she will stop at nothing to get it, even if it means resorting to murder. Having established that her late husband Victor Kiriakis promised her half of his vast estate, Vivian moves into the Kiriakis' mansion, an ostentatious show of power that sends shockwaves through the family. Maggie Horton is the first to speak out, her voice trembling with fury as she warns her husband Philip that vampire has to go. Kate Roberts is equally outraged, her icy glare promising retribution. But Vivian is ready for their objections. With a sly smile and an air of triumph, she corners Philip and Kate, only to reveal an even more devastating twist. She has gone straight to Xander Cook, Victor's unsuspecting grandson, to inform him that the letter naming Philip as heir was a forgery. In Vivian's telling, it was Victor's true wish to leave everything to her. The revelation sends shockwaves through the household. If true, Philip's claim is invalid and Vivian stands to inherit everything. As alliances shift and accusations fly, Salem's wealthiest family braces for war. Who will emerge victorious and who will pay the ultimate price? JJ and Gabi. A murder mystery reignited. Detective JJ Devereaux has always taken his job seriously, but when the case involves his own friends and family, the stakes become deeply personal. This week, JJ turns his investigative focus on Gabi Hernandez, Belle's former best friend and, once again, the prime suspect in the shooting of E.J. DiMera. Intense interrogation room scenes. JJ grills Gabi about her whereabouts on the night E.J. was shot. The evidence against her is chilling. She had the motive: anger over E.J.'s manipulation, the means: a gun found in her possession, and no credible alibi. Flashbacks transport us to that fateful evening, Gabi slipping through the patio door of the DiMera living room, the gun trembling in her hand. Was it an act of revenge? Or was someone setting her up? Gabi's fear and defiance play out in equal measure. She insists on her innocence, her voice cracking as she demands the truth be uncovered. But as JJ pores over the evidence, doubt creeps into his mind. Could the woman he once trusted be capable of murder? Or is there a more sinister plot at work, one that threatens to ensnare them both? Marlena and Steve, a heart-wrenching farewell? Few relationships on Days of Our Lives have endured as much as that of Dr. Marlena Evans and her husband, Steve Johnson. From mind control and possession to countless kidnappings and tragedies, their love has weathered every storm. Yet in the promo's final, heart-stopping moment, Steve delivers the news no one expected. We find Marlena in the living room of the Evans home, her brow furrowed as Steve dials a number. He listens intently, then turns to her with a grave expression. This is the end of the road for us, he says softly. We need to step back. Marlena's eyes fill with shock and tears. You mean, leave? She whispers. Their conversation hints at a decision to call off the search for their missing son John, a quest that has consumed their lives for months. Is Steve's resolve born of exhaustion, despair, or something more final? Will Marlena stand by his side, or will this be the moment their marriage and their shared mission fractures beyond repair? What to expect this week? Passionate reunions. Sammy and Rafe's simmering connection will ignite into a public declaration of desire. Don't miss their fateful kiss and the fallout that follows. Family feuds. Vivian's takeover of the Kiriakis' mansion sets the stage for a battle royale. Allegiances will shift, secrets will be exposed, and someone may not survive the power struggle. Murderous mysteries. JJ's relentless pursuit of the truth brings him face to face with Gabi and with uncomfortable questions about his own judgment. Will the real shooter be revealed? Emotional farewells. Marlena and Steve's relationship hangs in the balance as they grapple with the decision to end their search for John. Can love endure when hope seems lost? Whether you've followed Salem's dramas for decades or are just tuning in, this week's episodes promise the kind of storytelling that keeps you glued to the screen. Betrayal, heartbreak, and shocking twists await. So prepare your tissues, settle into your favorite chair, and get ready for a roller coaster ride of emotion. After all, in Salem, nothing is ever what it seems, and no one is safe from the next betrayal.